This is no sleeping, we don't take a day off. How you a champ and you didn't make the playoffs? There's a duck, bitches a suck. I'm for the bucks, cash in the vault. Thinking it's sweet, homie, you leak. Aim at your brain and then fuck up your thoughts. Agree, I am. He. I can put you up on game. Best believe the best done came to stretch your lane and test your brain. About more weight, a little more strain. I'm okay, and no they change. I'm on top, pop my collar, pop my shit. They so lame. I'm the truth, the fact remains. Check the proof. Third degree. And I was on the phone with the label and shit. They was like, they hear a lot about Arkansas and this and that and that. Dude was like, but we don't necessarily know what Arkansas sounds like. Like, shit, let Third go in the booth then. And it was up. Sky's the limit, high's the. And I was on the phone with the label and shit. They was like, they hear a lot about Arkansas and this and that and that. Dude was like, but we don't necessarily know what Arkansas sounds like. Like, shit, let Third go in the booth then. And it was up. Sky's the limit, high's the.
Hello. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Miss TML, and we have Mr. Third Degree here with us all the way from Arkansas.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I can just say that I'm definitely honored because I see the level of leadership in your character and just who you are as a person. And the fact that you're in an untapped market in this country is important for us to, highlight because I come from an untapped market. And we were just talking about that. So again, the Arkansas sound, I think that you are, a leader, a pioneer, in creating that soundboard for people to follow. And I hear it. What does Arkansas sound like? Music sound like? It sounds like Third Degree to me now. So I just
now that right there, yeah, that right there melted me almost. You know what I'm saying?
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I've been, just doing my own research and just seeing, the things that you've done. So from brand influencer, brand ambassador to host, radio host to artist, and also just a mentor, and a man of power, a man of conversation, I think is important to mention because I say that because nowadays a lot of people don't have conversation. They don't have good conversation. And after watching some of your videos, I'm like, wow, he is definitely impressive in his, just his lyric, his ability to have a real conversation with people. You know what I mean? And I think that's important.
Well, that goes a long way. And one of my ideas and one of my first of all, thank you for having me on your show. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the opportunity to sit down with Miss TML. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To be able to cross markets, to come all the way from a little small town Arkansas to be recognized by somebody in another market is flowers in itself to me. But my big thing is controlling the dial and changing the narrative. We are in Arkansas, and us not having any major play or major spins or major boom on a global scale. I wanted to give what I thought Arkansas sound like. If I'm your introduction to Arkansas, I hope you pleased with it. That's what my aim was for anybody who never heard anything from Arkansas before, never heard an Arkansas artist. When you press play on this, I don't want you to say, "Oh man, cut that off," or "That was garbage." Or if you see me talking, I hope that I'm offering something that's building and not destructive. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I think there's a lane for that.
That's right. And I heard it. I mean, I heard the Southern draw, but I also heard the ability to slow it down a little and give it that quality of sound that I think, sometimes I don't think Southern artists always have. You know what I mean? It's more mumble. It's more, you don't really know what they're saying because they're speaking in slang and they're not speaking in English vocabulary. You know what I mean? Like it's more slangish, and sometimes you don't necessarily interpret what they're saying unless you hear it 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what did they just say on that? Like, but people from the South understand it, but people up north don't understand it. And I could understand everything you were saying. So that to me showed me it was something different. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say that what really struck my interest about you was that you inboxed me months ago, when I had already booked everybody for season 3 of Up North City Girls. And I said, it's something about him. I want to, get him on my podcast. I want to still give him that interview because he was one of the people that was like, listen to my music. And when I listened and I really went back and did like, just my little research, whatever, I was like, dude, this is somebody that you want to sit down with. This is somebody that you want to get to know and you want to build with. So it's been a long time coming because we went through how many months before we could get to the interview. And I just kept telling you, I got you, I got you, I got you. And you stayed humble and you stayed, for it. And I'm just here for it, and I'm glad that we're building and bridging this connection now between us.
Yes, ma'am. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? And trying to remain humble on this road is very, it can get hardening because sometimes you think people are there for you and they really not, or you poured more into a situation than they gave you back. You know what I'm saying? You might feel like giving up or quitting or being harsh to somebody. But I try to stay humble. I always heard if you take the high road, you get better buds, and I believe that because for various reasons. But yeah, you take the high road, you get better buds. It's just what it is. So I'm trying to remain on the high road and stay in a positive lane because I'm a mentor as well. So when people looking up to you, you got to give them something to stand, something to look up to. So I'm trying to stand for something, not fall for anything. The young men that I mentor are between the ages of 15 and 25. So I'm constantly
you changing lives.
Yes, fishing for men, dishing out good game, making sure they don't make some of the same mistakes I made, or if they have made those mistakes, I try to help them build off of them and not walk around with their head down, keep their chest out, keep their head high, and let them know that life goes on and they get greater later if they continue this path.
I mean, because of our struggle as, Black people and things like that, I think it's important to recognize men like you that are mentors because, a lot of us come from fatherless homes. A lot of us come from, broken homes. And to have other men who step up and be the, mentors and the guys that these men need to understand what it means to be a man, not just to be, a boy, but to be a man. So what a man looks like is important, is that we show, people like you that take that high road and that understand that it's bigger than your ego. I find that a lot of Black men deal with ego and pride a lot. And that's what gets them into the vulnerability of the situations that they're in, whether it be, drug use or crime and things like that. A lot of it has to do with their ego and their pride and not wanting to settle for anything, less than what they think they deserve. And just understanding that sometimes you have to work for it. You have to be humble, you know what I mean? And you have to believe in faith and have, some type of guidance. It's important, and I think that's lost sometimes in our community. It's hard because they're looking at the guys on the block and the people that they look up to as being those people. And it's not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how many people that we know or I know that have said, years later, if I would have known what I know now, I would have never did half the things I did for my friends or with my friends, Because
ego and pride. I didn't mean to cut you off, but often I'm glad you said it. Ego and pride. And I was just talking to one of the young men that I mentor. Ego and pride blur the lines of accountability. Once you get so prideful in your ego, so how you don't want to be accountable. So you're scared to look in the mirror. You're scared to man up or to even say I was wrong or I need to change or I need to fix that. I need to be better about this or that. So when your ego is through the roof and your pride is through the roof, accountability is out of there. And if you're not accountable, we can't even build. You'll destroy everything we got going on because you don't want to be taught the right way, or you don't want to learn nothing new, or you don't want to give up the reins of whatever's on your mind to even open a thought process to allowing some kind of fruition to build something. So I know that ego and pride is a big problem with the black male, and it causes confusion with the black male and woman. So ego, pride, and confusion is an atomic bomb in the black culture. In the black culture, and it has cost us millions of lives and millions of man hours that we could have been doing a whole lot better for ourselves with, that we have wasted away, that we can't get back. And I think we should tackle those two words kind-heartedly, wholeheartedly, and humbly when we're dealing with the youth, especially the black men, black boys between the ages of birth and 7 years old. They need to be structured in what pride and ego can do and can't do for you. Right. And understand what it means to be accountable along with pride and ego. And if you're accountable, pride and ego will come second and third, and accountability will be first. Right now, accountability is not first right now. That's why we got so many black on black crime is at an alarming rate, and we killing our own people. We killing our own relatives because pride and ego. But if we was accountable, we wouldn't do it. We'd point that gun somewhere else, or we'll put the gun down. But enough about my segue. You know, that's just how I feel about it, and that's how I have to talk to these young men, because somebody got to reach for their head.
I love somebody got to reach for their head. Yeah, we need people like you. We need more men like you that are teaching the real truth about, you know, our culture and our life. And you know, sometimes it gets blurred, like you said, the narrative gets blurred, and it's hard because you're fighting a bigger force sometimes than us. You know what I'm saying? And how they want us to perceive ourselves. And I always tell black people, you know, until we start disrespecting each other and killing each other, nobody is going to stop doing the same to us or treating us as though we don't care or that our lives don't matter. You know what I mean? Until Black lives matter to black people, none of this stuff is going to stop. And we have to be accountable. We have to know, like, we're killing each other. And, you know, people are still like, they were so mortified that I said that. And, you know, I came out with that, like the way I did after the George Floyd, you know, protests and everything. And I said, listen, we can blame and we can point the finger, but until we hold ourselves accountable, accountability is key here. You know what I mean? What are we doing to disrespect ourselves and each other that make people think that our lives don't matter to each other? We're killing each other. I mean, and again, growing up in the inner city and the Black society, it's our normal to bury people in our teens or to visit our friends or family in jails. That's not normal. You know what I mean? In every other society, that's not normal. People are not living that life every day. They don't know anyone that's ever been shot or killed. And I'm like, and I had to realize that when I started going and traveling and being in other environments, and they're like, you know somebody that got shot? And I'm like, what? I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. Like, there's a shooting every day. I mean, this is our norm. You know what I mean? But to somebody else, it's not normal. And I had to realize that. Like, we've also been conditioned to deal with trauma and deal with war and deal with, because we got war right in our own neighborhood.
I think that's one of our misconceptions. We don't know that we're at war. Right. We're the only people that don't know that we're at war. We understand there's a war going on, and I think we think war is tanks and guns and planes. We don't think war is information. No. We don't think war is in the music. We don't think war is in the corner store that's in my neighborhood that we don't own. We don't think war is that. We don't have an understanding of psychological and chemical warfare. We have an understanding of what we saw on TV with G.I. Joe cartoons and John Wayne movies and John Wick or whatever. That's what I understand the war is. But as a culture, as a people, we don't understand that, hey, they killing us. They got us killing each other. Our music is killing us.
Where are our babies running around with these guns? Where they get them from?
Yeah, where they get them from?
They got war guns running around in the streets, and I'm just like, where do they get these from? Like, there's no way that you're giving this to a child unless you want them to go out there and create mayhem.
So somebody's creating a terroristic environment for our children. And on the back end, somebody is saying the legal black man, the legal the legal guy, he can't protect himself either. He can't
No,
defend himself either. So the
no.
thug can't defend himself. We're gonna lock him up, and the legal black guy, you can't defend yourself either. So what do we do here? What do we? It's a
Right.
conniption. Yeah, we
Right.
almost have to go back to the Underground Railroad and start speaking in codes and silence and
Yeah.
whispering in each other's ears about what our next move is, because somebody's controlling our dial and narrative, and I take it.
But this is where I say our people are not organized enough. The reason why we can't, enact change is because we're not organized as a culture, as people. You got black people competing with each other instead of uniting with each other. We battle over light and dark, the Willie Lynch syndrome. And I'm a high, person on that, because it shows the level of ignorance that still exists within our culture, and not realizing that we didn't choose the color of our skin. Nobody did. You know what I mean? I didn't choose the color that I came out. You didn't choose the color that you came out. This is just who we are. And we live with it every day, but yet and still we're chastised by our peers and by our family and by, you're too light, or you're too dark, or you're too, like, what? We're all beautiful people. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to love everyone the same. We are all products of God. You know what I mean? Like, we are a masterpiece within ourselves. We were made perfectly designed of who we were supposed to be. And our people denounce that. They ridicule that. And that for me is where I say, you know what? Until we stop hating on each other, until we stop, criticizing each other for what we look like. And, if we were all made to be the same, how boring would the world be?
Very bland.
If we all
very, very bland.
You know what you gotta respect originality. You gotta respect diversity in order to live in this world and be happy. You know what I mean? With just who people are as people. Like, stop worrying about what people look like.
Or what people think. If it's not building,
right.
If it's destructive, we wasn't supposed to be there anyway. If it's destructive, we don't need to let that be a catalyst for us to move forward, going to destroy something else. Right. We should be trying to build something. We as well as controlling the dial and changing the narrative, we have to understand the difference between ON and OWN. We have a bunch of black people ON. We own the block, we own the street, we own this, we own that, but we don't OWN anything. And I'm sick of the ON. I'm sick of the ON. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick of the ON. Where's the OWN? Where's our park playground? Yeah, we need to start having, once we have a sense of ownership, we'll start treating things different. When you own it, you don't break it, you don't tear it up, you don't shoot it up, you don't spoil it. When you own it, when you had to work hard to own it too, you really care for it, you cherish it, you take it, you will even pass it along if you own it. But we don't own anything, and we passing on ON. We passing on gang signs and flags and stuff. We passing on destruction. We're passing on degrading our women. We passing on something that ain't fruition, and you can't pass it on too long, because at the end of that, it's death.
It's death.
It's not. Yeah, it's mayhem. We're creating terrorists, basically.
That's right. That's
so
true.
I want us to get to a point where we OWN and quit just being ON. ON is cliche. ON has become the catalyst and the standard for just being passive. OWN mean you got to get off your ass and work. OWN mean you got to tell the person next to you, hey, we ain't going for that sucker shit. Cut that out. We gonna stand for something today. And I don't care who you is. I don't care if you OG so-and-so or big homie, whatever, nigga. We don't own nothing. Take that monkey shit off. You embarrassing us. You making us look bad. Them other people laughing at us. They've been telling us black man go home since the Vietnam War. We still don't own nothing. They've been begging us to go home. Hey man, go home and get y'all something. Go home and do something for y'all. Go home and make something happen. Not for the NBA, not for the NFL, not for go own something for y'all. Y'all ain't own nothing. Yeah. So I asked us, what if Colin Powell acted like George Washington?
That's right.
We got to be on the OWN time as opposed to ON. But I'm cool with the status quo trying to change. I'm cool with the status quo trying to level up and grow. I'm cool with the status
That's
quo
right.
trying to get better. But I'm not cool with it being stagnant and remaining the same.
That's right. And I love that. I mean, I'm glad that you gave us that analogy on what own and on is. You know what I mean? Because I seen that. I seen that you did a interview or a podcast on that, and you were talking about it. And I said I'm going to bring that up because I want him to go into depth with what that means and how important that is. And Jay-Z was one of those people that I respect because he said it. Until you own your own, you ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we over here killing each other over blocks that we don't even own. Like, this is not what it is. You know what I mean? And it's a, like you said, it's a war within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's a war that we have to heal. Our people have to heal. You know what I mean? And it's hard. I get it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's
well, as you were saying, go ahead. It's some outside forces that help with that war.
Of course.
There's some outside forces that push the envelope and control the narrative on making sure those particular people stay confused, making sure those particular people stay kind of running around in a circle. And if we walk away from them, the war is over. We ain't even got to fight back. We just walk away from them, the war over. The war ends. Once we stop dealing with the people that's telling us to do this to ourselves, the war over. And they know it. That's why they keep telling us to do it to ourselves. That's why they keep doing things to us. The war is there's no more war. We just gotta walk away. We just gotta have enough sense to say, you know what?
Mean, and that's the thing. I hope we live.
I don't think we have
day, my brother. I swear, I do.
That takes a lot of fortitude. That takes Black men and women being unified. That takes Black men in unison teaching the children. We can't leave our education up to somebody else. That's how confusion get poured into our house. Somebody else educating our babies, and we let them. Somebody else educate our babies, and we force them to educate our babies. We mad because they don't educate our babies. We upset because they ain't doing this and that for our babies, and we ain't taught our babies anything. Our baby, when you said Willie Lynch, we could dive into that a little deeper, but I don't want to on this. We'll do it on our next interview because I'm coming back. But when you said Willie Lynch, it's a pool of African American males who don't even know the science behind that. And that's up to the house to teach that. The school's not going to teach me that. It's up to the house to teach that. And we don't have no house teaching that. Big Mama's at the club these days. Big Mama twerking now. She's only 25. But in fact, Grandma's is 31 now. They still in the club. So they competing with the young girls. The OG, the big homie, he competing with the young boy. He on the block too. He can't go in the house either. He's still trying to sag his pants and wear designer and wear Dior shoes and the bulky shoes and be on the block too. So the confusion done got the roles reversed. The old head trying to be the youngster and the youngster trying to be the old head. So who's listening to who?
Yeah, it's a time. It's a time to be alive and to see the level of confusion that is caused. It's definitely hard, and when you're, I don't want to say woke, but conscious, I think a lot of it, is the people who are conscious are more people who are just saddened and disappointed because we can see it. You know what I mean? How it's tearing our families and how it's tearing our people apart. But there's nothing we can do about it. You know what I mean? But stay woke and stay in.
They're looking for the other conscious people. They're looking for the other conscious people right now. The conscious people are looking for the other conscious people. And believe it or not, there is a world of people out here moving and working hard and going in a direction to try to build for our people that don't get a light shined on them or anything like that. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and ain't no cross to go to no more. So know it's up. When it's up, it's up. So it is what it is. And we're at that time. So
it sucks. I mean, it sucks. But you know, but you know what they say? You got to destroy in order to rebuild. And I believe that we're going to come to destruction of, this whole, pot that has been built or that's boiling. And when it does come, we have to be prepared. you know, and I say that to people all the time. Just prepare yourself, because in order for them to rebuild and for us to have peace on earth, it has to be destroyed. And you have to understand that it's only a few of us, a choosing few, that are going to get to go. You know what I mean? And it sucks, because it's like, I want to wake everybody up. I want all my people to go, you know, but you have to realize that everybody can't go. You know what I'm saying? And I just understand now, you know, the older I get, the more I understand.
Well, I named my company Boiling Point. Go ahead.
Yep. Go ahead.
I named my company Boiling Point Entertainment. The reason why I named it Boiling Point Entertainment is because at your boiling point, you have to change.
That's right.
At your boiling, you have to, whether for the better or the worse, you have to change. If that pot's on the stove too long boiling, that water gonna fall over, or the pot gonna burn up. So you have to make a change when you get to the boiling point. So it was a play on words, but definitely based on what you was just saying. When we get to the boiling point, you know, it's like, are you gonna go left, right, up, down? You gonna fold? You gonna make something shake? You gonna make something work? Or you know, me personally, I'm gonna get to work.
That's right. I work good under pressure. They always say pressure makes diamonds. You know, either, you know, the boiling pipes, it's either you're gonna burst or you're gonna, you know, follow suit. It's either or, you know. So let's get into it though, because I know we could talk for days. But I wanted to give the people a little, you know, insight to your mind and know how educated you are. And just how, you know, how motivational you are as a speaker. Just from hearing, you know, the things that I've heard, I'm impressed all the time, every time. You know, every time that I see you do an interview with an artist, and just the questions that you ask are very inspirational. So I want to ask you, when did you first get into music?
Oh my God, I'm 20 years into music. Let's just say that I'm 20 years, 20 years plus in the music. So, and hip hop is the soundtrack to my life. So it's like, you know, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I move is all hip hop. It's all the culture. It's all fashion, you know. And I try to be a trendsetter for Arkansas. So I'm like, you know, I'm that. We're in the country, and I don't want people to confuse country with backwards, or country with like he don't know what he own type. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, dude is eclectic. He's very educated, and he can. You can go check my Instagram. I think I dress pretty.
Oh, you're pretty dapper. Every time I see that, he's dapper every time. Like, he could come to New England and nobody would know you was from the country.
See what I'm saying? That's you know. Yeah, so I have to use my southern drawl. Whatever. Oh yeah, he must be from somewhere else. As far as moving and shaking, you know. So yeah, I'm 20 years. I'm 20 years plus in this.
Okay. Now, who was your biggest inspiration, or who inspired you to do music?
A hometown lady, my aunt. She was like the dopest singer I ever heard in my life. That I ever heard in my life, and unfortunately, she came along in the 80s when drugs hit, and drugs took her from reaching her full potential. But I always looked up to her as the best artist I ever seen in my life.
Wow. That's awesome. Shout out to her. Because again, it's those people, but you know, hopefully she knows that she inspired you, and you carried the torch, right? And you carried the torch and made it bigger. So, you know, shout out to you for that, because again, sometimes we live through other people, and you're just being a vessel to her. You know what I mean? So definitely see that, you know, and I can attribute that to some of the people that I've seen and was inspired by growing up in the music industry. And I said, you know what? It's because of them, people like that I never gave up, that I, you know, persevered and continued to do this, because I know that it wasn't just about the money. You know, if it was about the money, I would have been gave up. But it was about the passion. It was about breaking artists. It was about being something that created something, is important to me, and discovering talent is important to me, you know. So that for me was like, okay, why are you doing this? You know, why do you continue to do this if you're no longer interested in being an artist? But it's not just about being an artist. It was about actually working in the industry to create a sound and cultivate a sound, like a tastemaker. And I consider us to be tastemakers as well. That's something else you can consider yourself to be, as a person who's creating the sound for the next generation.
Definitely.
And I think that's important, to keep that authentic sound and soul in our music, because sometimes it gets distorted.
True.
So tell me, what is the type of music that you would say you typically create? Since we're talking about sound.
I'm very eclectic when it comes to music. I'm into jazz, blues, hip hop, R&B, gospel, because like I said, the person who inspired me to do music is a singer. So
Right.
I don't have a particular sound or a particular style, but when it comes to good music, I can piece good music together, and I like to write songs that I can't do. I can't sing worth a damn, but I like to write. I like to write R&B and pop records. So uh, I'm just all around and very eclectic with it. Like I try to use it to always fuel something. I never want to just write bland. I never want to just. I don't want to say the sky is blue. I want to say the sky is the same color as water.
That's right.
You understand? So I try to write like that. I'm always in my sky is the same color as water bag.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. So tell me, what is your creative? Well, you did kind of tell me what your creative process is like. Um, what does it take for you to get into your writing mood, would you say?
Oh, now me personally, I have a constant beat playing in my head. We're talking
Okay.
right now, and I got a beat playing in my head right now. I can't tell you the beat, but if an engineer was here, I could pull it out of my head. And it's all 24 hours. My whole life, I don't had this beat playing in my head, and it's always a different beat, and it can start at any given time. So, um, when I'm in the way my life is set up now, I don't get to sit down and write anymore. I have to take a
Right.
day out of the week. I have to take a day out of the week and schedule a writing session. I have to schedule writing time now. So, normally I just grab me some good herbs, you know what I'm saying, some medicine, get medicated, or not, because like I said, the beat's always playing, and
Right.
try to get off to myself and collect the thoughts of whatever I've been going through, or whatever moment I'm in, or whatever thought I had, and try to display it in the most vivid way possible, the most vivid way that a third grader could read it
I
possible. Let me
love
say
it.
that.
I love it.
So
I love it. That's definitely
that's my creative process.
Yeah, but that's definitely, it's authentic. It's real to you. You know what I mean? And it's gonna put you in a zone to create music that is real and it feels, natural to you. I think the best artists are the artists that you believe what they're saying. And I think you just have to have a way about you that says that you own it. I've heard that in your music. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I was talking to you through your music. You know what I mean? Or you were talking to me through your music. And I think that's important to basically find relative, or relevance to people, or something that people can relate to or resonate with. And it's something that you remember. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I like how he said that. Oh, I like how he, reacted to that sound. It's important to, capitalize on those things and be an artist, at the same time.
Most definitely, and I find it pleasing when you get the product done and you put it out there and people are saying, "Hey, that's dope, that's dope, that's dope." And like I said, I'm from a small market, so for people, somebody way in Boston saying, "Hey, man, I heard your music and bro, you nice with it."
That's
Like, oh, thank you. I certainly appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it. I'm gonna keep on coming. I'm gonna keep on coming.
right. That's right. And that's what gives you motivation. It's just hearing from other people from around the world. Because sometimes, you feel like, oh, I'm just a local artist, or only people know me are the people that I've worked with in my network. And then you start branching out and you see that there's real, genuine support. I think that helps to motivate and inspire artists to go further, and just push it to the limit, because the sky is the limit. It's endless when it comes to you being able to touch people all around the world. You know what I mean? And I think that
True.
the one thing that I respected about Michael Jackson is that he was that influential around the world. Michael was one of those first international artists that I remember that made it, to the point where he had people in London, people just crying, people just overly, taken over by him. And I think it just was the music. I think that his ability to express himself through his music is what touched people. And I still, to this day, he still has fans from all over the world. And I think that's important to recognize, is that being that influential to people and knowing that there's not just people in your network that are going to say, oh, you're dope. No, there's people around the world that say, listen, I fuck with Third Degree. I rock with him. You know what I mean? And I think that is what solidifies the artist to know that they're meant to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really believe in myself as an artist until people outside of my network started telling me, listen, I want to work with you. And I'm like,
Well,
what? For real? You like it?
I have been getting my fair share of that. I mean, my phone, every day I wake up to a new email, a new text message, a new tweet, a new somebody saying, hey, man, I just heard your music, or hey, can we get you on our show, or hey, can we, and it's not just the music, my social commentary as well has been, like, somebody's always calling me or texting me or something. I'm booked for the remainder of the year, basically, off of 3 songs and a couple of podcast hosting, and so I'm thankful. I'm very thankful, and trying to remain humble and continuing to deliver. So I even had a top clothing chain hit me up today about clothing. So I don't know where that meeting is going to lead to, but I'm definitely in my bag with trying to solidify myself as that guy from Arkansas that's really good at a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Right. The tastemaker in me, almost the Sammy Davis Jr., Nick Cannon thing.
The Jackson.
Yes.
That's right.
Forgive me.
That's right. Nothing like show business. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
And I believe you have that charisma to wear multiple hats. It takes a certain type of person, you know what I'm saying? And understanding that you have to manipulate yourself into different people at different times and wear different hats, you know what I'm saying? And know how to get into artist mode, know how to get into businessman mode, know how to get into mentor mode. That's not easy. Some people only wear one character every day. We have to wear many, you know what I mean? From the talent to the personality and you said that you manage artists as well. So becoming a manager and doing it and being an artist as well is not an easy balance.
I get up real early in the morning and I kick the rooster. When you hear the rooster say cock-a-doodle-doo, it's because I kicked them. Now I make sure to give my artists 110%. I try to give myself 110%, my family 110%, and it can get really, really hectic sometimes, but I have a great staff. I'm not alone at this. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 of the best co-workers, I would say, in the world with me, and they help me. They're my sons. So, we locked in, and they on point. They blazing trails with me. We trying to start this John Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Vanderbilt type thing. You know what I mean? We want some real deal generational wealth. And I love it. I've studied those guys. That's why I was able to name them. But yeah, I've really studied Henry Ford and Mr. Rockefeller. And how did y'all get like this? Where did y'all get this from? Where did y'all get y'all startup and all this? And when you study them and get in tune with what they had going on outside of the getting over on poor Black people, you can start your own generational wealth type thing. So yeah, I try to give 110% to all of that, and with that, I've been getting 110% back. So that's how I'm here today with TML, because I've been getting 110% back.
That's right. You get 110, you gotta get 110 back. I love it. So tell me, who would you most like to collab with and why?
Right now, I wanted to collab with TML because we are putting together a conglomerate out of this world that people aren't ready for, that they need, but they don't know they need, or they won't, and they haven't been able to put it together yet. And when we put it together and offer it to them, is going to up the score for everybody. So that's who I want to collab with right now. If that fits your if that fits your answer,
that was the best answer this whole season. I kid you not. That was the best answer this whole season. Like artists, they're probably pissed that you said that. They're like, damn, I should have said that.
Well, it was honest.
It's a pleasure, and I'm honored. Yeah, and I'm honored because I really feel like we can do some great things. And I want to come to Arkansas, and I want you to come out here to Boston, and we just build in regards to building these platforms for artists and getting them the exposure and the network support that they need. I think that's important, and that's been my whole reason for doing the podcast as well as doing the media company. So TML is the Media Loop, which is also my name. But the Media Loop is an array of different services that I offer, from blogging to, graphics to PR work to artist development work. And I kind of just package those up into different packages for artists, because every artist might come in and get a consultation, and I need to figure out where they are as an artist, what they need to have done, and also teaching them how to be independent and make the money without having to go to the record label, and owning their own music. I think that's important, and I think those are the things that, if I would have knew the things that I knew now, I would have been a lot more successful as an artist. You know what I mean? And just knowing that there was resources, I think the internet has given us that ability to be able to be so much smarter than the last few generations. It's like, listen, the information is out there. It's just you have to do the research. You have to know what you're trying to do and actually have a plan. And I tell artists this all the time, like, you can release tracks, but what is your plan? What is your end goal? You know what I mean? What are you trying to get back from this project? Because if you're not getting any closer and you're staying stagnant, then something is wrong. A lot of artists think that they need a manager and they don't even have a demand. True. And it's like, listen, you can't pay your manager. Then how are they going to eat? How are they going to put all their time and energy into you unless it's just out of good faith? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you still have to think about the fact that they have their own life to live. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't be selfish with that. And so it's a balance. It's not easy to have, these goals and to have this agenda and not have people who are humble and understanding to what you're trying to build. Because, like, and a lot of times, a lot of people think, oh, it's instant gratification. Oh, I'm going to get paid as soon as I go, do this or do that. There's a lot of people that don't get paid at all. And listen, you got to understand that. Like, people were hanging around me. Oh, I expect to get paid. And I'm like, listen, you said you wanted to do this to support. You said you wanted to do this because you love going out and hanging out. Now you want money. And it's like, you don't understand.
This is the lottery. And it
has to go back into the business.
Sometimes you get a lottery ticket situation, and I won't say a lottery ticket situation because it's all hard work more times than not. But sometimes you do go to the studio and you can put that one record out that takes you beyond the stratosphere, but you still have to put it in somebody's hands. You still have to get it to somebody at radio. You still have to get it to some DJ, some TikTok influencer. Somebody has to take it. Or even if you did it yourself, there's still some time involved in that. And it's like a lot of times people are looking for the instant gratification because TV tells you it's instant, but it's not. It's never instant. It's always, everybody has a backstory where they were.
I love your consistency. And that brings me to the fact that that's what I look for with artists, is consistency. How much are you really pushing your own product? And to see you every day vividly on the internet, pushing your agenda, pushing your project, is what makes me believe in you. And what makes me believe that you will be successful, with the right team. Because you believe in yourself. If you didn't believe in yourself, you wouldn't be pushing yourself every day. Or you wouldn't be pushing your product. And this is what I tell artists. This is what you're saying. By not pushing your product every day. I don't give a damn if you don't get any likes. people are still going to see it. People are
True.
going to still see that you're pushing your agenda on the internet. And that's what you have to stay, stay down on is that, listen, I'm staying consistent. I'm pushing an agenda, whether it be different tactics every day, different marketing strategies every day. But even getting with a marketer or getting with a promoter that's going to push you, or a brand influencer, that's important. People will spend all the money on videos and everything else, the clothing and everything else, the cars, but they have no marketing budget. They have no marketing plan. And it's people like me, yeah, it's people like me that want to sit down with these people and mold them and teach them how to be business people. Not just be musicians, not just be, I don't want your money. I want you to make money and then come back and say, T, I'm paying you because you showed me how to make money.
True.
That to me is the biggest reward. You know what I mean? Is creating opportunities for people, and giving them the information and the education that they need to be successful and own their own. And a lot of people don't see that. They want to work for the man. They rather work for the man and get it from the man instead of
that's back to the ON versus the OWN.
That's right.
And we're trying to create and build leaders here. We're trying to not just musicians. We're trying to make leaders. Right. We're trying to establish a foundation of leadership, a ownership, leadership leading into ownership. So it may not be easy, but I don't even want to work with an artist that I can't teach how to be sufficient without me. Any artist that I deal with, I'm teaching them to blaze their own trail. 5 years up the road, you can write me off and just tell people, yeah, he helped me get here. You don't have to lean on me or leech on you forever. So I want to build CEOs. I want to build owners. I want to build entrepreneurs, and I'm not trying to hold nobody down. So that's why I get a lot of love from the artists I deal with, and artists. So I got an artist texting me right now saying, hey, when you get off the interview, I need your help. I'm here for it though.
So tell me, if you could open for any artist, who would you like to open for?
Oh God, that's hard. That is hard. Oh my God, an artist right now off the top of my head. Oh,
give it to me.
Oh my God, off the top of my head, I think it would probably be somebody out east. Then again, I don't know. There's so many artists I respect.
I want to see what your music, taste is like.
Probably Nas. I like to open up for Nas right now.
That's a good one.
I like to open up for Nas.
I can see Nas.
Probably Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know what I mean? I'm a little seasoned, and now if one of these new rappers, I might steal their show. Like seriously, I'm from Arkansas. Nobody ever heard of me before. So when I get on stage, I might steal your show. Right. Because I'm gonna be looking a certain way, and I'm gonna be sounding a certain way, and I'm gonna be really popping my shit. I'm really in my bag. So the way my closet look, I make these major rappers have to go put some jewelry on. Like they really have to go get their ice out for real. Like hey, that dude Third Degree coming through here. You might want to go get your best VVS's on, because what he got in his closet gonna make you do that. You're gonna have to go get a limo. You need to go get a limo and a jet, because when he come out of his closet, he gonna be looking like a mannequin. Now he gonna be looking like the man again. You know what I mean? So this how this should go. So I don't know if I'll be able to open up one of these new rappers. They'll lose their fan base. And that's just being honest. And I can rap, and I got bars. Like I'm eclectic. I got bars. Like I'm saying something. So I'll probably have to pass on open up for one of these new. I'll let them open up for me though. Or they'll have a chance to eventually anyway, because at the rate I'm going, they'll have a chance to. We'll discuss this again in 6 months.
That's right. I believe it. I see it. That's definitely, you give me that energy of a person who's a package deal, and you are just a talent to be reckoned with. So whether it be doing music, whether it be doing radio, podcast, you can jump into anything. Acting. So tell me, where does the name Third Degree, where did that come from?
I didn't have a name And I was with my friend from California. I was younger. I was with my friend from California. He's like, bro, you cold. You like, this, that, and the third, like a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? And I was like, third degree. And I went and Googled the name, and somebody like the spelling of it was what I had to get right, because the third degree, not being an artist, third degree as a word is something. Like when you say third degree burn, third degree case, third degree. And I thought about that, like what third degree meant, like the level of that. You know what I mean? So I named myself third degree because of the level. Like I'm at the third, you know what I'm saying? I spelt it uniquely for ASCAP and BMI. And then I knew nobody else couldn't take my copyright once I got me a logo and all this and that. And I just ran with it. So this, that, and the third. Old people say that down south. When you ask them what's going on, they say this, that, and the third. So
you're right. You're definitely right. So tell me, is there one message you want to give to your fans tonight?
Yeah, I do have a message I want to give to my fans. Everybody want to be the one until they meet the one, and then they get scared. Remember that. And use your head. Use your head for more than a hat rack.
That's right. So I want to ask you, if it wasn't for music, what would you be doing right now? But I'm pretty sure that you would be doing mentoring. Is one thing. But what other passions do you have?
Gardening, farming.
I like it.
I'm from the country. I'll be out here with rows and rows and rows of tomatoes and corn and squash and peas and
things. That's how my grandparents are. That's right. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the garden. I grew up farming. Even in Boston, they still had a garden in the city. And we would go pick tomatoes. We would do, certain things that would harvest up here. And I was glad I was given that education, growing up, because then when the pandemic happened and everything happened, I was like, yo, we can't eat this food. Like, we need to teach our children how to grow their own food. Like, this is where we suffer, getting out of this routine of farming. And, just having that green thumb is important to teach your children. Because if the world ends and one day we don't have, animals or anything like that to eat, all we're going to know is how to plant seeds. So then what?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we have to, still keep that information alive for our kids and for, the next generation. So shout out to you, because again, it's not easy.
And on a cliche segue, nobody don't never got to give you no flowers if you got a garden.
Right. That's right.
So nobody, I don't need no pat on the back. Just give me my flowers while I'm here. No, I got a garden. I got my own flowers. I planted my own. I'm fresh out the garden every day. I got a garden. It's a mind state too. Like, not just the planting of the soil, but in my mind, I got a garden. So nobody never got to say I'm the shit or tell me I'm the truth. Or I know it already. I got a garden. I did it myself. I water it. I go out there with the hoe and get the weeds after around the plants. I make sure ain't no rodents and no bugs on it. And not just the physical garden on the ground, but the garden of my mind. So I'm fresh out the garden every day.
So tell me, what is your favorite song to perform? Because I know you have a performance coming up soon.
Arkansas Sound.
That's right.
Because when I get through rapping, people be like, man, you from Arkansas for real? Oh, that's how they sound. Okay, bro. All right, then. All right, bro. You was spitting something, bro. All right. So Arkansas Sound. Yeah, definitely.
Arkansas Sound. I love it. So what is the best advice that you've been given in this industry?
Oh. Ooh. So, the best advice I've been given is don't trust anybody until they show you what they, like, don't just go for words, because people talk good. Everybody can talk a good game. Like, action is louder than words.
So true.
That's the best advice I've got.
I needed that one tonight. Now that's one I'm gonna put on the top of my list now, because there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of people blowing smoke and mirrors, and it's like, what you think is real is not always real on the internet. And majority of the time it's not real. People pretend very well, and they've been learning how to pretend more with the internet. A picture doesn't tell you anything about a person. but their actions do. Their character, you know, who they present themselves with as in front of you, that tells you who a person is. People will say, "Oh, you can check my this or you can check that." Like, listen, that don't tell me nothing. I need
Yeah,
to see
don't
how
mean nothing.
I need to see how you react. I need to see how you deal with, you know, with problems and drama and how you just are as a person. Like I tell people all the time, I don't do like a lot of phone calls and things like that anymore, just because people can pretend very well. You know what I mean? I'd rather see you face to face. I'd rather get to know the person behind the
Most
phone.
definitely.
Because you could tell me you're anybody on the phone. You know what I mean? So the face to face value and I always say actions prove why words mean nothing. You know, it's like you can
Now
say
that's
whatever.
that. Yeah, we running with that.
Your
Yes, sir.
actions don't add up. I'm already out the door. You know what I mean? Because you're not a person of your word. And if I can't believe you and believe you're a person of your word, I don't think there's really nothing else for us to build on. You know, it's like you can't build with people who you can't trust.
And it's damaging to your face card because I can't forward you to the next person either. I can't tell. Yeah, call TML. She's gonna look. No, you already burnt
Yeah.
me, or you already played this. And the internet gives people the ability to be whoever they want to be. I learned that from
Yeah.
a business associate a while back. Like, yeah, man, you can be whoever you want to be on the internet. And I was like, no, I'm gonna be the same. I'm gonna be the same person I am in real life as I am on the internet because I run into these people in real life, so I don't want to be fake over there and have to deal. You know what I'm saying? So, and the person that told me that let me know that this is how they had been getting by. Like, you can be whoever you want to be on the internet, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know people did that for real. But
That's right.
that's
They
so.
do. A
Yeah,
lot of
that's
fake and jacks on the internet, you know, and it's hard because you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. You want to believe that people would not stoop to that level, but a lot of mental health plays a part in that. You know what I mean? And it's like it's easier to pretend, you know, now than it is to tell the truth. And this is what
true.
I had to learn. Like people don't know how to tell the truth about who they are and where they, you know, where they've been. They want to be liked and they want to be accepted. So the only way they could do that is to lie, you know, whereas people
Right.
like me and you, we have built ourselves before the internet. So this is why people don't understand why I get the recognition and why I get the respect that I do. Is because I've had these relationships with these music people and people that I've worked with for over 20 years. This was before the internet. This was before the internet was popular. You know what I mean? So I already had done the footwork outside in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whereas now this is make believe time. I say that the internet is make believe time. You know, you can pretend, you can do whatever you want. You can tell people whatever you want, and half of these people will judge you and believe it, and it might not even be true.
True. You can say it over
So
and over again. You can make it truthful to yourself. I was told that too. Like, hey man, if you say it enough on the internet, you can just make it be true. And I was like, what?
right,
But
that's right,
these are things I learned as I go along. And I still tell myself I ain't doing that. I still got
right.
integrity. I
You're
still
not
got
gonna sell
I
my soul.
stand for something or fall for anything. And I'd rather stand for something, even if it's a
That's
little bit of
right.
something before I fall for anything.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Third degree. You are a true human being and a force to be reckoned with, and I wish you nothing but the best success. I'm always here, anything you need. I'm your sister in music. Definitely gonna be here to support you and get you, you know, heard over here on the East Coast, because I think that's important, as we talked about, to bridge the communications between different regions. And we're gonna build as much as possible, and I just can't wait for us to have that, you know, that full interaction where we build and we do shows together and I see you perform live and I'm rooting you on. I think that's important. I think that it's important to have people, a family, of a circle of music people who really genuinely support you, you know, and it's not for any reason other than I see that we are like-minded. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this business and how we carry ourselves is important. And that's all I want to be surrounded by, is the best. And people who want the best, you know? So, and I see that in you, truly.
Thank you. You are a gem yourself, Queen. You found me, I found you. We reached out, we linked, and it's been like peanut butter and jelly ever since. I mean,
That's
every
right.
time I text you, you were right back texting me, vice versa. So I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come to your platform. Everybody that tuned in tonight, I hope they follow me and you as well. You know what I'm saying? And if
Right.
you need me on anything, I'm gonna say it like this: I can't wait to be back on your show again.
That's right. We're gonna have you come and talk about some real life stuff. You know, I think sometimes I want to separate the musician from the person. And give people a different, like, this is why I opened up the show the way I did for you, is because I wanted people to get an intricate, vision of who you are as a man and how you think. And it's just the fact that, again, we want men like you making music. We want men like you who are conscious, who are not trying to destroy our culture, making music and creating sound that is going to ignite happiness. Because I find that a lot of this sound now is creating chaos, it's creating confusion, and it's creating anger. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of trap music. I'm a fan of drill music. I will be in my car, blah 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 blah. But there's a time and place for everything, is what I realized.
True.
Um, and when you're letting those sound waves into your energy, into you're now carrying on that energy that was created for that sound. So I think people need to be aware of that, and aware of the music that they're listening to and how it affects their lives. So it's important that I heard the arc sound is more of a rhythm and blues, and it's more of it's more of an upbeat tone. I don't hear the gutter down south, blah blah. I don't hear that. I hear. I don't want to say kind of like nappy roots, but kind of gives me that I can be on the porch sitting and just chilling and listening to this, and this is gonna be music that is gonna make me happy
That was my
and
aim.
give me that vibe. You know what I mean? That soul surreal de la soul vibe. You know what I mean? Like, that is what I heard when I heard arc sound, is that this was something that was different, coming from you. And that for me is what solidified me to say, I gotta listen, I gotta get this guy on my podcast. He is doing something. I'm all about the pioneers and the pillars of the community and of the world, and being surrounded by leaders. I tell people this all the time. It's like, I'd rather be surrounded by a bunch of leaders than a bunch of followers. Followers do nothing for me. I want to be around people who I know can pass the torch and pick up the torch where I left off. I want to know there's people in my circle that have the same vision and the same understanding about how to do business and how to deal with people. And that's important. Like, you got to have those type of like-minded people in order to be successful. So I'm honored and I'm excited, because I just know that we're going to do something great together, and we're going to do beautiful things together. So look forward to that, you guys. That's one of the things that he has going on in the future. But my last question of the night is, what's next for you? Other than us,
Oh my.
what's next?
Well, I'm like I said, I'm booked the rest of the year, here, there, and everywhere. I want everybody to go follow me at THIRD DAGREE on all sites, whatever. And you can find out a lot more about me. I have a podcast, or not even a podcast. I have a show about the show, called This, That, and the Third Coming. I have singles upon singles that I'm about to be releasing. I'm working with several artists. Right now, we're getting ready to do birthday bash in Atlanta. I got St. Louis next week with the Father's Day editions with Goose Gates, I think, at Bottoms Up Club. I'll be in California pretty soon. My hands are in a bunch of stuff. So if you need all things Third Degree, just follow that name on the ticker, and I can get you hooked up with whatever. I got deals on features, deals on movie casting. I'm doing scripts right now. Do a little comedy. I'm a single father. You name it. I got a 17-year-old football player that it's me and him. We locked in. We've been together for 7 years, just me and him. So being a single father has derailed me from being in the streets and promoted me to be on the beats a lot more. So he saved my life. He took me out of the streets, so I'm thankful for that little guy. He's not a little guy anymore. But all things third degree, just follow me.
Well, we will.
And again, I thank you for letting me come to your platform.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a force, a third degree to be reckoned with. And we look forward to seeing what's next for you, and anything again that I can do to help support that. I'm always here for you.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you. You are a gem. You are a blessing.
Thank you. I just want to shout out some of our viewers today, just because we have people from all over the world that it looks like have been tuning in tonight. So I want to shout out to Tony Briggs, because he is one of my dedicated, partners in this music business. Tony was a DJ. He's a DJ in LA. So he's from LA, Los Angeles. Much love. We love you, Tony. Also Izzy. Upstate New York, I see you out here, bro. I see you guys. Definitely love the support. And anybody else that tuned in tonight, stay tuned, because Third Degree is going to light the scene up in the music industry. He is bringing Arkansas sound to the forefront, and I wish him nothing but the best and all the success. And I look forward to what's next for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
You too, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks to Up North City Girls. Thanks, TML. We back next. We'll be back in 90 days.
That's right.
I love it here.
90,
I love it here.
What is it? 89 days in a wake up.
Yes. Thank you, sweetheart.
All right, honey. You have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This is no sleeping, we don't take a day off. How you a champ and you didn't make the playoffs? There's a duck, bitches a suck. I'm for the bucks, cash in the vault. Thinking it's sweet, homie, you leak. Aim at your brain and then fuck up your thoughts. Agree, I am. He. I can put you up on game. Best believe the best done came to stretch your lane and test your brain. About more weight, a little more strain. I'm okay, and no they change. I'm on top, pop my collar, pop my shit. They so lame. I'm the truth, the fact remains. Check the proof. Third degree. And I was on the phone with the label and shit. They were like, they hear a lot about Arkansas and this and that and that. Dude was like, but we don't necessarily know what Arkansas sounds like. Like, shit, let Third go in the booth then. Hands up. Sky's the limit. High's the. And I was on the phone with the label and shit. They were like, they hear a lot about Arkansas and this and that and that. Dude was like, but we don't necessarily know what Arkansas sounds like. Like, shit, let Third go in the booth then. Hands up. Sky's the limit. High's the.